Coming up.
At this point, we are ready to put the engine back in.
A dog misfires after a chicken snack. And how does it run now?
Time to flush this turd. I mean fix it.
We are in the process of saving this high-mileage Maserati Quattroporte GTS. After removing its beating heart that collected an impressive 300,000 kilometers, we found a failed camshaft variator and we proceeded to replace all 4 of them with the complete timing chain kit. Getting parts for this automobile, that's still in production today by the way, turned out to be surprisingly difficult. The biggest hurdle was the turbos. The original turbos were completely worn out, and with spare parts availability being non-existent, it didn't make financial sense to rebuild them. I managed to find a set of good used turbos for around 1,500 euros that I sent directly to Topmar Motorworks to be checked. And thank goodness I did, as they found that they were stored improperly and were full of dirt. Lukasz took them apart, which was a challenge on its own, cleaned them and gave them a service. A massive thank you for Topmar Motorworks for stepping in and saving the day. And now, finally, after months of waiting, they arrived looking fresh. So with that, let's put this Ferrari Maserati engine back together and hear it run for the first time. First, I'm prepping the surface with a fine Scotch-Brite and cleaning with brake cleaner.
Brand new gasket. We gotta touch this old drain pipe now because later there's no access. With a brand new gasket, of course. That goes like that. We have a brand new O-ring here, but I'm also applying a bit of liquid sealant because I really don't want this stuff to leak, because once this is in, the access is, well, it doesn't really exist. So there's that. So the trickiest bit is plugging this line here. Beautiful.
There are oil, coolant and vacuum lines that need to be connected.
The banjo bolt with new crush washers. Good and twist. Another oil line. The Benjamin bolt. The pipe. The heat shield.
And it's copy-paste on the other side. Now to run the wiring and clip back everything into its place.
This goes here, I believe, through here. And with that, I believe we are ready for the transmission. Schneller! Let's get the transmission. The X-pipe. Come, time to reunite you. All right, here we go, high school reunion. This is a big and heavy transmission. I need to raise it now. How did I do that before? Oh, I don't think that was very smart. Probably not. But, well, would you look at that? Oh, wow. I am such a professional. Yeah. Victorious. Where'd the bolts at? Or nuts? Okay, one is plenty for now. We need to bolt up the torque converter to the flywheel. Perfect. So gonna use a bit of thread locker on these bolts, because why wouldn't you? We'll do Mittelfest. Bit of paper to hold the screw. Okay, I want to turn it around and start one more. Nice. That's all 6 of them torqued. Now you can put the cover back. Done. The coolant lines. The transmission cable. That's done. We're gonna replace the transmission mount because 300,000 kilometers. New one going in.
Much like in the previous episode, all of the genuine Maserati parts I bought from masparts.net. Shout out to them for having many parts in stock and being great to work with.
Can't find the torque speculation, so just gonna go by hand. Brilliant. The cross member. The dialectic converters, the car has covered, oh wait, I forgot. That's right, 300,000 kilometers. So as part of preventative maintenance package, we are going to replace the oxygen sensors, lambda sensors. For Maserati, they cost 1.5 million euros. From Bosch, which is the exact same thing, around 50 per sensor. And I found them by looking up the part number on the sensor itself. They're made by Bosch, they're not made by Maserati. They don't make oxygen sensors. They just make complicated cars that you can't fix. Hiya! That was easy. Here it is. See, the exact same part, only we saved over 1 million euros. Isn't that nice? And brand new gaskets. You know what it says on these clamps? It says Lancia Fiat Alfa. It does not say Maserati, in case you were wondering, because they all share parts. I think we can just put them in somewhat loosely and then torque them once the full exhaust is back on the car. This cable goes through here, and then it plugs into something. At this point, we are ready to put the engine back in. Bring out the buffet. How did I do this previously? A little something like that. Gotta lower the car. Start pumping. Forward a bit. To the front. There you go. We started 1. Okay, 2 started. Yes. Fantastic. Subframe bolts are in. Let's see the cross member. Fantastico. Actually sweating. That clock is incorrect, by the way. I didn't change from winter time to summertime. That's how busy I am. Every time I see it, I say to myself, oh yeah, I need to change that, and then I never do. End up doing something else. And then it takes like a minute. Okie dokie! Okay. So apparently this is the underframe, not the subframe in Maserati world. That's what the repair manual calls it. And it took me forever to find it because of such weird wording. And my hydraulic table is finally free. can reinstall the engine of Project Marseille. Overall, it wasn't that bad, honestly. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Okay, let's lower it and see what's what. Yep, that's a Ferrari / Maserati engine, and it's in. And looks like we didn't crush anything. You know, that's always good. In no particular order, let's start plugging stuff in. Let's start with this ground cable. It's a bit crispy and I want to replace it.
Lambda sensor connector.
Steering column. Bolt with Loctite.
The engine support arm.
So here's the old one. This bushing is completely toast. And here's the new one. Perfect. So pop that in. The fuel line. The vacuum line.
The positive cable.
Two coolant lines in the back. Connector here. O2 sensor. The AC line, brand new O-ring. Let's jump underneath. AC lines that go to the condenser. Put brand new O-rings. The lower rad hose. The intercooler piping. New clamp. And good luck putting this back on. It's going exactly how I imagined it would go, which is a struggle. As with everything on this car. Don't buy turbocharged cars, kids. Just get an NA engine. Give it a good and tight. The power steering line with fresh crush washers. Very good. Air filtration box. Plug in the muff. Oh, I can't believe it, that's in. Oh yes. Much easier when the fan is not in the way. The pipe. The electric fan, which should be fairly difficult. You are through it. Ooh, that hurts. Car. Something has happened. Something is catching somewhere. See, BMW designed collapsible clips bracket thingies here. Maserati didn't. Oh, now I need a second person on top. So I need to teleport myself up top, and then I'm gonna be able to do this. No, It popped out. Yep, still won't go through. What the f? 17 and a half days later, the fan is finally in. I can plug in the connector. Okay, that's enough at the engine bay.
You know why I'm smiling? Because we got a new supporter of the channel. And it's the big one and the best one in the business. Michelin tires. Yeah, baby. They kindly provided a set of these wonderful Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires for the Quattro broken here. So I'm gonna load them up in Project Rottweil, run over to the wheel shop and have them mounted on the freshly refinished GTS wheels. So excited about this development. Thank you, Michelin. The wheels were spectacularly curved all around and needed to be refinished badly, which is exactly what I had done. They came out looking mint. All of the previous damage was removed and they are now sitting pretty, wrapped in Michelin rubber.
Let's do the suspension. Can't stand looking at this anymore. Again with the 3 hands. So you have a bushing here. We're gonna have to torque this with the suspension fully loaded. Nice.
The transmission cable.
Okay, it's clipped in. Who wants to see Mutzi getting a treat? It's chicken. Mutzi loves chicken. I think that's enough, Mutzi, isn't it?
The drive shaft time. You go in now. There you go. You are in. Que bella. Now I need to line up the mark that I made when I removed it. The torque speculation is 30 Newton meters and then 90-degree angle. 90-degree angle.
And that's all then torqued.
And here we have an extra nut. This is for the balancing of the prop shaft, so I'm putting it in the exact same spot as before.
No torque spec for the center shaft bearing in the repair manual, so good and tight it is.
The heat shields. And now the X-pipe. When it comes to taking the engine out and putting it back in, it's really not that terrible. It's almost like the design that knew that it's going to be coming out a lot. Brand new brachetio. If you remember, the old one was broken. Proper wrenching here. Loving it.
The rear mufflers.
Do you know what's my favorite part about this car? The exhaust. It's absolutely phenomenal. The design, the way it goes back together, super easy, man. And you don't need a team of laborers to remove it. Here's a brand new support bar. If you remember, the old one was bent.
Have this little heat shield here. Brand new air filters, about the only part that's available is OE. I think that's everything. You can start adding fluids. This engine calls for 5W40 oil. So here it is from Liqui Moly, full synthetic. The capacity? No idea. But we have an oil dipstick. Power steering fluid, it calls for standard ATF. The coolant bleeding procedure is conveniently missing from the repair manual, but we have one bleed screw here and one here. I don't know if it has any more bleed screws. I didn't find any. The only thing that I found online is the bleeding procedure for the Ghibli, which is the V6 engine, and that one has 3 bleed screws and one over here, which this one doesn't have. So I'm gonna do what I do on BMWs, turn the ignition on, set the heater to maximum, fan to the lowest, that way the auxiliary pump is going to run and start filling the coolant. For the coolant we're going with this, that should be the correct one for this car, at least according to my research. So we have 2 coolant reservoirs, one is for the engine and the other one is for, I don't know, the turbos. So I'm gonna start filling them slowly. Whoa! We have coolant here, so that needs to come out bubble free, which it is. Yep, nothing coming out on the back bleed screw. Maybe crack that open once the engine is running. Okay, let me withdraw the extra fluid. Okay. Fuel. Seriously? That's how you seal? All right, time for the first start. Will it run? Cleared all of the codes. Here we go. Hold on. It's running. No check engine light. Tire pressure light, but the tires are not on. It looks like we have a running Maserati. That was a really nice and smooth start, wouldn't you agree? Should we check for leaks? It sounds good, Mutzi, doesn't it? Yeah, stuff burning off. I spilled coolant here yesterday. It sounds super smooth. It never sounded this good before. Never. Just gonna have to pay attention to the temperature, because I'm not sure if we bled the coolant system correctly. Probably not, but let's see. Maybe a bit of throttle. Yes! And no check engine light before it would immediately pop on the dash. Bellissima! I'm Ferrari tech now, it's official. Mutzi approves, she's excited. No smoke from the exhaust, it just runs good, man. Listen. It was sputtering and clattering before. Okay, let's kill it quickly so I can check the fluids. Power steering fluid, yep. We need PS fluid. Oil. Okay, we need a bit of oil as well. The main concern that I have is the coolant and if we bled the system correctly. But I guess we'll find out if it starts to overheat. Okay, now we're gonna start it and let it get up to temperature. Yeah, it starts so nice and it's idling perfect. And no codes. Listen to it. It sounds fantastic. All right, let's get it up to temp. As you can see, Mutzi is ecstatic besides herself. But the Maserati is running and it sounds great. It never sounded this good. It would immediately start to misfire and run like garbage. But now it sounds idling perfect. The temperature is coming up. The exhaust sounds great. There's that V8 burble that we were looking for. Still kind of cold, but man, does it sound good. Okay, I'm gonna keep an eye on the temperature. But so far, so good. No leaks, which is very good as well. And it started from the first try, perfectly. I didn't forget to reconnect anything. For someone who has never worked on a Ferrari / Maserati, that's a big victory. Mutzi is like, what's that whooshing sound? The engine is fully warmed up, and it looks like the Operation Save a Neglected Maserati has been successful. It sounds great. Nothing is leaking. It's not overheating. And there are no check engine lights. Temperature is right in the middle. There you can see the oil pressure, oil temperature, and transmission temperature. It has a limiter at around 5, I think. Yep. Yeah, I think it's fixed. Yes! Welcome back, GTS. Welcome back. You're no longer Quattro broken. You're now officially back to Quattroporte. The fan just kicked in, so I'm very, very excited. All right. The first episode in the project mounted to a series that has a happy ending. I played a Ferrari mechanic and came out victorious, at least in this instance. Mutzi and I are popping with excitement. In the next episode, which should be the final one, we gotta sort out the brakes, troubleshoot the airbag fault, replace the rest of the fluids, the diff, service the transmission, and then we need to get this thing through German TÜV inspection, which I thought would be somewhat easy, normal. Let's call it normal. It's something that I have to do with all of my vehicles. But there is no such thing as normal with this particular automobile. It's actually very expensive and very time consuming. So I'm working on a different angle, and I'm gonna get into details in the next episode. We also obviously need to go for a drive, see how this thing drives, feels, sounds, and what else is broken, so then I can officially be bankrupt. Somewhere in the middle of that, we need to get this thing to Gian. Hopefully, if they have the time, they need to do a full paint correction and detail of the interior. And then the car is going to be officially done and up for sale. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you're finding this project series enjoyable. It's not something that we normally do on this channel. It's a bit different, out of my comfort zone, but me personally, I'm still having a lot of fun, even though my arms and bruises and scratches say otherwise. Anyway, the next episode is going to be on Project Marseille, the E31. The hydraulic table is finally free, which means we can reinstall the magnificent 12-cylinder engine. From Mutzi and I, see you in the next one.